I said to her, that's not a half pass, that's a leg yield.
Hi, this is Blythe Tate, and you're listening to Eventing Weekly with Mitch and Braden.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Hey, thanks, mates.
Come on, pal.
Hey, Mitch, Braden, and
G'day, mate.
Tom Grant. G'day, mate.
Good day, buddies.
How the devil are you?
Yeah, all very good. All very good.
Bloody good, mate. And, hey, Tom, we're at your local, mate. Where the bloody hell are we?
We're in Malmesbury in Wiltshire, and then we're at Smoking Dog, which is literally the bottom of the high street about where I live. So about 200 metres up the road is where I live with my housemate, Caroline.
And what an iconic setting, driving in through the... I came in over that little bridge with the stream underneath, and it was just picturesque until I arrived, and it started pissing with rain.
Pissing it down with rain.
I think it's actually just stopped for us to start the podcast as well.
I think it has, yeah. You know, August 2nd. Perfect. It's going to stop raining now.
Yeah. Well, the gods are shining on us, Tom.
Thank God.
Yeah. Bloody good. Hey, Mitch, how was your trip down today?
My trip wasn't too eventful, you know. Cruised down don't know what road it was. I came in the different way to you. Came in past Womad.
Oh, yeah.
That was over the weekend.
Yeah, that's where my stables is. So if you've got Womad on your left, if you turn right, just there, like half mile down that lane, my stables are just down there.
What, near Charlton Park Estate?
Literally, yeah. Charlton's if coming from Mitch's direction, Charlton's on your left, turn right, and I'm just down there.
Wow.
Small world.
Couple of good buggers in there.
Yeah. And if we could just start the show off by giving a quick shout out to Megan and Toby. They look after the yard at...
big fans.
Big fans of the show. And we're both big fans of their work as well. So big shout out to those guys. I know they'll be, sitting... they normally get up early because it comes out at Tuesday at 6 a.m. And they're normally up 5:30 messaging, where's the show, where's the show, where's the show.
Yeah.
6 a.m, first listener, boom, downloaded.
There they are.
They're
Yeah.
straight away.
They one of the few, they listen to it and then they come back later and they watch it on the YouTube.
Ah,
So
true fan, dedicated to it.
getting that audio visual experience.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, Tom, bloody good to sit down and have a beer with you, mate. And we're really looking forward to cracking into some good questions this evening. And you know how we work. We've got 10 questions lined up and we're just going to sort of ping-pong our way through them. And sort of try to get a taste of who the great man is. So, I have the first question, and that is Mama G the greatest of all time?
She is a rock, and she's a pretty stoic rock at that. Yeah, Mama G, if people who don't know, is my mum.
Yes, she is.
She makes, at the minute, she is, I think, chief of all picnics.
Yeah.
Massive picnic fans. Yeah, she is. So chief of all picnics on the eventing scene.
Yes.
Come to my wagon. There will probably be picnic table and chairs out ready for her debacle. At the minute, her main kind of item she brings and cooks, as well as her little flatbread sandwiches she does, is like flapjacks with a twist. It's like flapjacks with cornflakes in them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We get boxes and boxes of them.
I could get around that.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, that's the big light blue lorry, isn't it?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where I'll be heading next.
A little marquee outside.
Got a marquee sometimes outside it as well.
Yeah. Have you had the pleasure of getting to know Mama G?
I haven't.
You haven't
met
yet?
Mama G. No, I've never met Mama G
When
yet.
you've met her, you won't forget her.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
and I can't wait. Where's Mama G heading next?
She comes to 99% of shows.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And I've still never met her.
You've not. I don't know how you haven't.
How's this?
I reckon you've seen her.
I've probably seen her.
I reckon you shake her hand and you go,
Yeah.
I
For
hope
sure.
so. Yeah, because she does have a lot to live up to. Back in New Zealand, Braden, I know you'd be a huge fan of Mama Jan.
Oh, Mama Jan.
Mama Jan.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, she
how
is
good is her bacon?
Yeah, an absolute legend is Mama Jan. And another big fan of the show.
Is she a huge fan?
Yeah.
Genuinely. So shout out Mama Jan. I was just going to say that I had the pleasure of getting to know Mama G. I think we were... Was that Mallow last year?
Mallow last year. This time last year.
This time... It's been a year.
It was.
Happy anniversary, us. So we were over at Mallow and I was trying to get my dog a passport.
You were, Irish passport for her, weren't you?
Yeah, well, she's dual citizen.
Oh,
you
okay.
know. She likes to spend her summers around Europe and
Covering more bases.
And so we were out in Ireland, and I needed some way to get from the show to the vet to get my dog a passport. And who stepped up but Mama G?
Mama G.
Mama G, yeah,
Take my wheels.
chucked the Ridgeback in here, and we just went off on an adventure. I think I got the passport done, I got an injection for the dog, and we went to the supermarket and got a couple of chocolate bars.
There you go.
So happy days.
Couple of chocolate bars and probably a box of wine as well at the same time.
Yeah, it was a good old week.
What kind of chocolate bar is Mama G running?
Oh, Mama G's running a chocolate bar. You would never find it without fruit and nut chocolate.
Fruit and nut.
Always fruit and
Ooh,
nut.
yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And then white wine.
And white wine.
White wine.
Yeah.
That's her stable diet, really.
Is she doing a Pinot Grigio, or is she a Sauvignon?
She's a Pinot kind of girl.
Is she?
She is, yeah.
Simple done well.
Simple done well.
Classic.
Uh-huh.
Bloody good. Well, I think we've really got to know Mama G in that first segment, and I feel good about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel good. I mean, we could end the show right now, but we're not going to. We've got more questions for you. I was doing a bit of research on you, Tom, looking up online, trying to find what I could, and came across a website of yours that is super well done, by the way.
Jesus.
Whoever you paid to do that, big thumbs up to
As
them.
you can imagine, was not me.
Oh, wasn't it?
No, I did not do
No,
that. No, not
okay.
at all. No.
Yeah, it's a big surprise.
Are we putting it out there at the moment as the best eventing website going around?
Oh, so far, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
steady,
Yeah. Kudos.
There you go.
Kudos.
Yeah, done a great job on that. Having a little read through your life story there.
Oh.
Started off running around with the ponies at the Prince Philip.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it
yeah.
Prince Philip?
Prince Philip, yeah. Pony
Prince
Club
Philip
Games.
Yeah. Could you talk us through that?
Oh, so kind of, I was a little bit of late to the eventing scene. Started on the Prince Philip and more like the hunting scene, to be fair, when I was a kid. So, like mounted games, like it's called like MGA, so like mounted Prince Philip games, and it was pretty much like bombing up and down on your pony, trying to go as fast as you can, top to bottom, like doing weaving poles or putting cups on posts, like trying to go as quick as you can. And with the group of pals I did with that as well, yes. But if I had the same pony for everything, like my one pony that I did, yes. If I was going hunting on a Saturday, it was only allowed to stay out until lunchtime. If I had to go to a pony club rally on the Sunday and practice my Prince Philip, I still can't to this day vault. You know, when the horse like canters off, you meant to like grab the pommel of the saddle and jump up onto it.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do that at all.
Yeah, I've seen.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. I don't think that's how it's done.
I think for Prince Philip games you're meant to do it, but I mean, my ability of like bounce or jump or ability to try and do that is second to zero, I think.
Really, you're
Can't
quite
do
an athletic-looking guy, so that does surprise me.
Yeah, but no
you've
spring
got the
at all.
height.
I've got the height, just got
Yeah.
no springs at all.
No.
None.
Really?
Not at all. Nope.
Is this a sport that we can get around on? It sounds amazing. I'd love to go out and talking about ways to spend your weekend, I think I'd go hang out. Maybe not at the Prince Philip Games, but is there a more senior version?
It's called MGA.
Mountain
Yeah,
Games.
senior.
I'm sounding like an idiot right now, aren't I? Yeah, it's probably quite a thing.
It can be. It's quite a thing. Yeah, it's kind of like nationwide. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Nationwide.
a big thing.
Yeah. Even heard of it in New Zealand as well.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not at your level, mate.
Down at Horse of the Year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They do
I've
MGA
seen
Horse of
them
the
doing
Year.
that.
They do
Yeah.
MGA Horse of the Year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Of course they do.
How
Oh.
silly of me.
And it
Yeah,
makes it.
absolutely.
I think it can also sometimes make the eventing party scene look a little bit tame.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
we're in
that
the
is-
wrong industry altogether.
See,
Yeah.
if you're gonna be,
Yeah, Eventing Games Weekly.
Yeah.
Is that
there you
Hey.
go.
a little spin-off? If you're was it Eventing Games?
No,
Sorry.
Prince Philip games.
But what was the actual sport again?
Mounted
Mounted
games.
games.
Mounted
Mounted games.
We're learning. All I was going to say is if we've got some big Mounted Games fans out there that
Yeah.
are interested in doing a little spin-off show, then maybe
Yeah.
they should get in touch
Get
and
in
we
touch.
can
Absolutely.
Get in contact.
tee it up. Tee it up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's something we could get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so that was Prince Philip Games. That's sort of where you kicked it off.
Yeah.
And we know you did a bit of pony club stuff there, but I think the obvious next question is how tall is William Fox-Pitt?
I went to Williams when I was 17. That was my working pupil. One of my working pupil places I worked. 17 and 18 went to Wood Lane Stables down in Dorset for 2 years. My first year there was 2012 to London Games. William is massively tall. I reckon he must be 6'6", but I reckon his neck is about 4 inches long. Like when he, yeah.
It's quite a sight.
He is super tall. Like, even me, I'm 6'2", and when I talk to him, I've definitely still got to look up and talk to him and say, "Hi, William. How are you?
Yeah.
How's everything?" Yeah.
Where did we put William on our tallest eventers list?
I think he might have been in third.
Was he?
Third or fourth? He was behind Will and Jesse.
Is he behind Will and Jesse?
Yeah.
Jesse was definitely number 2.
Yeah, Jesse was
We
not
established
number
that.
1.
No, he's not. He's not the tallest. He was definitely number 2. And then someone else was number 1.
No, we do love Jesse, but second tallest eventer.
Yeah, second tallest.
I think we'll put William at 3.
Fair.
So you did, tell us a bit about your time with William.
I did. So 2 years at Williams at Wood Lane. Amazing time there. My first year there was 2012, so London year. I think there was 13 4- and 5-star horses on the yard, and I think he had nine selected for the games.
Wow.
It was unreal. It was very cool, and I was pre-warned before I went in by William. He's like, this is a big year to be coming on this yard, and you have to fit in and run with what's going on. And he says, do you think you can do that? I was like, being very naive and very young at the time, like, yeah, I can definitely do that. And he wasn't kidding. It was a really great experience. Kind of got to go to the London Games on cross country day.
Yeah.
Be a tiny part of seeing how the horses got there, and learn a huge amount. I think like a lot of my knowledge and learning from Wood Lane and from William is from his outstanding, long-standing head girl who was there whilst I was there, called Jackie Potts. She was, she was amazing lady. Whatever she knew about horses, whatever she didn't know about horses wasn't worth knowing.
Gotcha.
She was a very cool lady and terrifying at the same time. Yeah, so she's known as Granny Potts.
Granny Potts. Well, what you're doing there is you're encroaching on question 4.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to park question 3.
Okay.
We're going to put a pin in it. We're going to attack question 4,
right,
and then we're going to circle back.
Okay.
And then we're going to go back into question 3. So question,
which is my question, by the way.
Oh yes.
So,
sorry,
so
mate.
people aren't thinking that I'm skipping out on questions here.
Yeah, go on.
But what we had written down here is Jackie Potts the goat.
The goat.
Yeah.
Oh, is she the pack horse that takes everything with her and leaves nobody behind?
Is pack horse the new term for the groom, the goat? You know.
By goat, do you know the term goat?
Greatest of all time.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
I would say Gran's is top of that tree.
Really?
Yeah.
So
She's
she is
pretty
in
damn
fact
cool.
the goat.
I think she is. Yes, she is the goat. She is Gandhi.
Really?
Yeah.
She is Gandhi.
Wow.
What makes her Gandhi?
But listening back to your prime shows as well, having you had Adam and Marcus on your show, didn't you? And her name got brought up on their series.
Yeah.
And Adam would say that you had a lot to learn from Granny Potts.
Yes.
But I reckon, like, Granny would, it's her way, or get out.
Yeah.
Her way or the highway. But she's pretty damn great. She really was. She knew how she wanted things done, and if you didn't do it, you'd get bollocked pretty quickly about it.
How long did it take you to fall into line?
I think I tried to put up a bit of a fight. I reckon it took about 3 days.
Yeah.
That's a record.
Record, I think. Yeah. Normally, I think 2 days. You're normally kicked out by then. I know. Yeah.
What for Jackie? You know, you said she's got her way, and she's firm on that.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got her processes.
But then my first year there, she had to be firm on that. I mean, there were so many top horses there.
Yeah.
If she didn't rule the roost with an iron fist,
Yes.
she made sure that those horses were best they could be.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, you just did it her way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And obviously her way must have been, a good way.
Tried and tested.
Yeah.
Many years. Yeah.
Is there any specific things that you picked up from Jackie, either in her leadership style, or like the standards she set, or any little things like any just tips? As I guess you're going in there as a young man.
No, yeah, absolutely that. No, so it was always kind of horses came first, and I think for her that is the most predominantly thing. And it was a huge team working there, and I think what she worked on behind her was you're only as good as the team that you work with. And I think one of her main things she had, as we all know, kind of working with slightly older horses, they have their little ailments and things. You've got to work with them and try and get the best out of them feeling good.
Yeah.
And she was a phenomenal lady about getting the horses to be the best they could on the top of their game and get them feeling as good as they can and keep them feeling as good as they can. And that just took a lot of man hours to keep them feeling good and happy in their bodies and able-bodied. And a few of the ones who are maybe a little bit older needed a little bit more TLC. I remember very clearly a few of the ones didn't like going on the walker. So William, luckily that there was an indoor and an outdoor there, school, little indoor school and like a big outdoor. And if they didn't like going on the walker, you had to hand walk them.
Sure.
In hand around the indoor school for half an hour.
Yeah.
I had to change the rein.
Yeah.
In hand, did that. You only do one at a time.
Yeah, of course.
So even you've got, like, the walker took 8 horses, and you've got maybe between 3 and 5 horses that had to hand walk.
Sure.
Half an hour hand walking. That's a lot of hand walking.
That is.
It is a lot of hand walking,
That's getting your steps up for sure.
It was getting your steps up that, for sure. And then those ones, maybe they needed to go for a few, they had to go on the gallops, but they did quite a lot of maybe a bit of walking on the gallops between as well as galloping to keep their fitness up, walking up the hills.
I can definitely relate to what you're saying. You know, that picture you painted around being horse-centric, a true horsewoman.
Horse-centric, massively
and then the butterfly effect off that, if that's your core, if that's your guiding light, then all of the things that hang off that is that level of detail, not cutting corners, going to bed at night knowing that you've done the best you bloody well can.
You bloody well can do,
Amazing.
One of the most memorable parts of Granny was at my second year there, I got the chance to go out to Buccleuch with William, and I'd got my HGV, but I'd never driven his big black wagon, the Jeep truck.
Another one.
And William has said kind of a little time before, so you're going to come to Buccleuch with me, and we're going to take another girl who we were working with at the time called Alice, who was second head, but she didn't drive the wagon. So Granny, literally I think the day before we travelled, she was like, so you're going to Buccleuch? I was like, yeah. William's going to expect you to drive. I was like, okay, on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
I was like, right. He says, and your practice is going to be reversing out of the car parking bay here at the yard. And then William will then probably drive to Dover, and then he'll probably have a sleep, and then you'll probably just drive out of Dover and drive to Buccleuch. So I was like, so my practice is reversing 20 metres, getting then in the passenger seat, driving in the UK to Dover, and then going on the boat for 45 minutes, and then him probably being asleep, and then me driving on the wrong side of the road for the first time ever in a 26-ton truck, never driven before, apart from reversing 20 metres, and heading off to Buccleuch.
If there's one thing I would say is that if I was to choose a road to drive on, the UK on the right side or a French motorway, I'm probably choosing the French motorway on the right side. To be fair,
it was more getting off the boat.
You drove off the boat.
And as we all know, like getting off the boat, you've got the pillars on each side of the wing mirrors. You've got millimetres. I have never been, probably when I was, say, 18 at that moment in time, 19, 18, bricking myself as much as I was right then.
No thanks.
And then you can't figure out how to lift the air up in the back.
No idea. Exactly that. Jeez. No idea.
No thanks.
Well, that's a no from me.
What a legend.
Exactly. Thankfully, got there, didn't crash. Granny didn't bite me when I got home, didn't make any extra dents in the lorry that it didn't have.
Happy days.
Yeah, that was next year.
Well, if I could just go back... Well, let's park that one there. If I could just go back to the pin. So you're at Williams for that time.
I was there 2 years, 2012, 2013.
Okay, wicked.
How did you get involved with William?
So at the time, when we were doing GB juniors teams, every junior on that kind of longer list of like a dozen people got given a senior mentor. And happened to be that whilst I was 16, 17, William was my mentor.
Amazing.
So they tried to work it that basically that when you were at a show and you were just at a regular kind of under 21 open intermediate trial, you had a senior person there, even if anybody of your kind of mentors weren't there under the people and under kind of your youth squad, and you should be able to go to them and ask them for guidance about what you can and can't do, what you should or shouldn't be able to do.
Was he a good mentor?
He was brilliant, yeah. I mean, fairly focused on his own horses all the time, rightly so.
Yeah,
but no, absolutely. He was really cool. Yeah, really solid.
Always willing to give a hand.
Always,
I've come up across him a couple of times out in the course. He'll just be walking with maybe 4 dogs in his right hand, 3 in his left, just cruising along as fast as he can.
Yeah.
People coming up, asking him all kinds of questions. And he just always seems to have the right answer.
Always.
Yeah. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, I know, well,
Experience.
many years of experience, hey?
Yeah.
I know. And you rarely see him on a push bike, do you?
Always got the dogs.
Always got the dogs.
Always got the
Always
dogs.
got the lurchers.
Yeah. And the Fox Red Lab.
Oh, yeah, he does it in
Yeah.
a lab now, hey?
Yeah.
No, when
Yeah.
I was there, it was just lurchers.
Just lurchers.
Just lurchers. Only
Branching out a
lurchers.
little bit.
He
I
is
think there's
now.
even a smaller...
There's a little one, isn't there, as well?
A little something kicking around there as
Oh,
well.
I've got
Any
absolutely
ideas?
no
No
idea.
idea.
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, I
but,
don't know what it is. I think that might be Chloe's dog, maybe, potentially. Who's one of his daughters, yeah. His daughter, yeah.
It's a big pack to be taken around
There is
anyway.
now, yeah. Well, it's a big wagon to have big lot of dogs in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of dogs,
Oh, yeah.
do you know Dora?
No.
You don't know Dora? Well, it's this time of the show that we like to bring in a fan question.
Right.
And
Oh,
and the fan
You
question we
know
have lined
Dora.
up for you it belongs to Dora.
Okay.
Or a close associate of Dora.
Uh-huh,
so
yeah,
let's just play that and see how it comes through.
okay.
Hi guys, Helen Bates here. Huge fan of the show. As eventers, we often spend half our time in our trucks travelling to shows.
We do.
As many people who drove all the way up to Bersham last week will be able to relate.
We did.
My question for Tom is, other than the obvious Eventing Weekly podcast, what would be your music, podcast or even audiobook of choice be for a long lorry trip to get you mentally prepared for your event? And part two, what would be your favourite event snack?
Snacks.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, no problem, Helen. Thanks, mate.
What a question.
Oh, so Dora the Explorer with her red backpack.
That's it.
Oh, we
You know
remember
Dora.
Dora. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so good question there from Helen.
Good question from Helen, yeah.
Anything come to mind straight away?
Straight away, yeah. My current head girl is not a fan of my audiobook choice.
Okay.
Uh-huh. But it's audiobook, and I'm a massive Harry Potter fan.
Are you on the bandwagon?
I am on that
Hey.
bandwagon. Stephen Fry audiobooks.
Oh, yeah.
And you've gone
Oh,
with Stephen
yeah.
Fry.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you've got to go Stephen Fry.
Exactly
Yeah.
that, but I've had to compromise now. So I did actually have the CD of his books, and I'd listened to them. I think maybe a few years back when I went to Blair.
Okay.
We actually listened to Harry Potter for about 9 hours solid. I think
That's about one film.
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. And then now with my current head girl, Jodie Owen, she's a non-fan of Harry Potter.
What would you say? Anti?
Anti.
Oh,
I know,
goodness.
it's
What is she
Jodie.
like, Twilight or?
I mean, I hope you'd maybe Twilight, but maybe she might be one of those odd ones who likes Lord of the Rings.
What do you mean odd ones?
I don't think it's one or the other, is it?
Is it not?
Yeah, no, I like Lord of the Rings and Twilight.
She's a strong
Yeah.
Harry Potter
I
negative
could
person.
see you as a big
Wow.
Jacob fan, actually.
Team Jacob, you think?
Yeah.
Well, I would say I'm a fan of... Who's the other one?
Edward.
Yeah, but I'm actually Edward.
Are you? Interesting.
Oh, you
No,
are
I'm who's the lead female? Kirsten.
Yeah. Is it like Bella or something?
Belle. Oh.
I don't know.
Is it Bella? I think it is Bella.
There's
hey?
people hitting their cars right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just absolutely.
We've just insulted an entire fan base.
Yeah, we have. Anyway,
Sorry, guys. Back to Harry Potter.
yeah.
Back to Harry Potter. So
Yeah.
we've now had to compromise. I've got to listen to it on headphones.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
good
here I
from
am
the head
trucking
girl.
away and just got some AirPods in.
Amazing.
Listening to Harry Potter, yeah.
How many times have you listened through the entire series?
Oh, I think I'm on 30 times.
No, shut the front
Oh.
gate.
Yeah. Because it started when
Holy.
I was a kid. So we used to like family holidays driving up to
No
the Highlands.
way.
Yeah. So I think the only way I'm one of 4 siblings. I'm the youngest of 4 brothers.
Okay.
And I think my mum, we'd always drive up to the Highlands, which was we used to go kind of 2 hours north of Inverness on the west coast. And I think the only way she could manage doing that kind of 11 or 12-hour trip was to give everybody a cassette of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own cassette tape and their own headphones.
Yeah.
And you always used to listen to it individually so nobody would argue.
Wow.
Mama
Yeah,
G.
smart
the
lady.
goat.
The Mama
She
G.
is the goat.
Do you? That is such a niche. Listen.
Uh-huh.
For that amount of time. But you're not the only person I know that does this.
No?
Do you know anyone else in the eventing scene that listens to Harry Potter on repeat?
I mean, Dora might.
Oh yeah.
She's a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
She can quote for quote.
Really?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
actually,
Do you think she was as well then?
Well, yeah, I think she is, because also like Dora was my housemate a few years back.
Yeah,
we lived
okay.
together. She's a big Harry Potter fan.
Did you get her hooked?
No, she was already well hooked
Yeah?
beforehand.
Really?
Yeah, massively hooked beforehand.
Well, my angle, I'm just going to have to shout
Yeah,
out
yeah,
as well,
who is
is Fran Dakin.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
Is she?
So Fran Dakin, who is, she runs our yard actually.
She does indeed.
And boy, does she
Fine woman.
run a tight ship. And but she consistently has on her phone
Yep.
Harry Potter audiobooks
Always.
non-stop, mucking out stables
Yeah.
all day, every day.
It's very calming.
All day. She might switch up and go somewhere else, but then she's back to the Harry
Yeah, well,
Potter.
she'll just come back like eventing. She'll go eventing podcast, won't she? She'll do eventing weekly.
Yeah.
Listen and maybe re-listen to that 3 or 4 times just
Ish.
to really get
Yeah,
And then-
per day.
everything.
Yeah.
And then she'll just swap it back up and maybe go to Stephen Fry later on.
Jesus, that's niche.
And dedicated as well.
I think Fran and me are probably on the same. Are probably on like
That's a sad road trip, you, Fran, and Helen.
Everyone sat
I mean,
there, headphones on, cassettes in, just driving,
Mama G in the back getting snacks ready.
She is, yeah, getting snacks ready for sure.
hearing the odd gasp as Harry comes
Yeah.
back from the brink of death
Again.
another time.
I know.
You're a big fan, are you?
Oh, a huge fan, actually. Yeah.
Helen did ask what snacks you'd accompany it with.
Snacks. So it depends what time of the day. I think daytime snacks when you're not tired is like Maltesers
Yeah.
to eat. But what I have learned is that, as any eventer does when we're driving long distances, and especially driving back from a 3-day or like an abroad 3-day, you drive on that Sunday night and you have that graveyard shift. You're driving through the night and you're trying to stay awake, and you run out of Red Bull,
Yeah.
or you run out of coffee. If you go onto Skittles,
Yes.
if you eat one Skittle at a time,
Yes.
and you can't have your second Skittle until you've eaten the first one.
Yes.
The
Oh,
whole
yeah.
bag will last you just over 2 hours.
Life hack.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long?
Just after 2 hours it lasts you. You have to chew your Skittle. You can't just eat them whole.
Yeah.
One at a time. It lasts you just over 2 hours.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a tip.
2
What a
bags of
tip.
Skittles, you're set.
You're set. You're set pretty much. Yeah, that is Holyhead. Home, isn't it? That is Holyhead home.
Is that an exciting prospect for you? A bag of Skittles and a Harry Potter audiobook?
Honestly, that is probably my dream, kind of 1 a.m. until 6 a.m. post on Sunday night, driving back from Dublin. I'm driving back from Holyhead to the UK. Yeah, that would be me
Amazing.
sorted. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, very good. Anyway, we should bloody well crack on.
We should keep going.
Because I think we're about halfway around the course.
Yeah.
So 5 from home, and we're up to. Our next question is. Oh, it's over you with. It's over with you, Mitch.
It is back to me. So we're going to head back to your kind of, I guess, your second. Nice. Your second eventing guru or goat mentor.
Goat,
if
yeah,
you will.
mentor. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll say goat. That's what you'd class Pippa as.
Oh, phenomenal goat. Yeah.
Yeah.
People who don't know, Pippa Funnell, massive goat with the eventing world.
You spent a bit of time with her.
I did, yeah.
Could you talk us through your journey that you had with Pippa?
Pip was another amazing boss to go. I think I couldn't have gone for much better, could I? From William for
Yeah.
2 years to the Billy Stud for a year. I was based on Pippa's yard at Cobbett's Farm. So she had Cobbett's Farm. There was Pippa's yard, and then Lucy Bunn, who was William's rider. So they kind of both had roughly about 20 stables each on that site, on that property. And Pip's side mostly had the eventers, and then Lucy had the 4 and the 5-year-olds of some of the Billy horses. She was a phenomenal boss to work with. There was a big team of us. It was really cool. We had William's yard down the road. It's called Jordan's Farm, and at the time I was there was just under 100 stables there as well.
Just a few.
Big numbers, though.
Yeah,
So
exactly
are they that close to each other?
Yeah, we hacked past it.
Really?
Yeah. So
Didn't
you'd
know
to drive, you'd be like a mile and a half. And if you want to hack, you could hack there in like 20 minutes, probably 25 minutes maybe, 20
Oh, yeah?
minutes if you're walking, yeah. If you trotted there, you'd be there in 15.
Wow.
The more
Yeah,
you know.
for sure, yeah. And then we would go, if we were going for like a jump day, we'd fill up probably quite a few wagons from Cobbett's and take them down to Jordan's farm and go for jump days because they've got the main jump arena down there. But Pip was a phenomenal lady to work with. Absolutely amazing trainer.
At this point, are you pretty much grooming, or do you have a horse on site as well?
So I had a horse on site as well.
Yeah.
I had a horse on site. I had an older mare at the time called Nancy,
Oh, yeah.
called Lean Coil Drifter. Yeah, she was a horse campaigning at like trying to campaign at 4-star level. She was a little bit of a difficult liver chestnut mare.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Doesn't at all, does it?
Ah.
No. She wasn't really a fan of a stable either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she lived in the paddock.
Perfect.
Yeah, 24/7.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she had the
I'd
field.
get her head down, you know?
Yeah, she had the field at Cobbitts, which was the one behind the horse walker. Didn't have a stable.
Great.
Yeah.
Just
Free
out the field.
range.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. So the kind of the theme at the Billy Stud was if there's an empty, there's never an empty stable. If a horse left within a day, the stable was filled with something
Really?
else. Always, yeah. So
Where are these horses coming from?
Ireland.
no, they all bred them all, didn't they?
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course
Bred
they
it-
did.
Billy's
Come on,
big stud,
Stud.
big stud, yeah.
Well,
So-
just
Big old
every-
stud.
I know. So the year I was there, I think they had 97 foals hit the floor.
Holy.
Yeah, and I think they've gone up in numbers.
Sheesh
Yeah,
Louise.
but she's a phenomenal trainer, like a phenomenal trainer. We used to do like quadrille training rides, so we had lessons in quadrilles. So because she wanted to
Yeah.
help as many people as she could, and she can't think at the time there would have been 8 people riding from both yards, from Jordan's and Cobbitts.
Yeah.
And if it was a raining day or in the winter we were frozen off, they had one indoor, like 20 by 60 indoor, and Pip would then bring down a lorry load of horses and want to ride in the indoor, and all of Jordan's farm wanted to ride in the indoor as well. So what she would do is that she'd get everybody in the indoor. We're all on 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds, probably 4-year-olds,
Yeah.
in the winter, and she'd do quadrille rides, and she was teaching everybody at once, but
Really?
Yeah.
it was phenomenal.
Mother
Yeah,
Teresa.
Mother Teresa, but Mother Teresa used to take your stirrups away a lot.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you used to have. I'm not sure if you know. Sometimes, like for training, you can put like a stick under your thumbs.
Okay.
So you were kind of having exactly that.
Oh,
That one.
for hand position.
The hand
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
Mitch
I like
knows
that.
the drill.
Yeah.
He knows, mate.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know.
Keeping your hand still.
Well, it's like you always say, Mitch.
Yeah. it
Always.
is.
Anyway,
No, go on, Mitch. What do you always say
I say many things actually. What bit are you referring to
about
here?
hand position?
You got to keep them still.
Yes.
You want to shoulders width apart.
Okay.
you are, yeah. As if you're holding a bowl of soup, isn't it? Don't spill the soup.
Exactly.
That's what he was about to say. Don't spill the soup.
Exactly
Yeah.
about what I was supposed
Exactly that.
about
So
to
if you,
say.
Mother Teresa used to take your stirrups away, make you hold your bowl of soup,
Yeah.
and stay in line. Yeah. So and you all had to change the rein and do serpentines and not crash into one another and keep up or slow down. She was phenomenal. Yeah. And what was really great, I think, with Pip as well, is that it was a big team of people. There was, I would say that there was, how many of us was there on our side? Maybe there was 4 people on Pip's side of the yard. There was 4 people on Lucy's side of the yard. There would have been another 7 or 8 down at Jordan's. So what? There's on 15 members of staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
there's a few there.
There was a few there,
She's coaching
and there was a
everyone
pub
at
right in the
once.
middle.
Oh, really?
There was a pub
Oh,
right
yeah.
in the middle. Yeah, called the Parrot.
Okay.
Many nights in the Parrot.
Yeah, good.
Many nights in the Parrot.
good.
But there would always be Pip or William who'd buy the first round.
Okay. Really?
Always.
Nice.
Always, yeah. No, they were great. They were really great. And Pip, you could hear when she was teaching as well, or you could hear when you could hear her voice clearly, as you still can now. Phenomenal lady. But when she's teaching 7 of you could hear it even clearer.
Really.
Really.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Geez, what a hell of a apprenticeship,
Yeah, it was pretty cool, wasn't it?
between those two,
Yeah.
and Jackie
And yeah, Granny.
and Mama G.
Oh yeah, she
You
was
know.
stoic. Yeah.
There's been some pretty cool influences
Yeah,
in your
some
life.
really cool influences. They've been great. They've been really cool, to be fair to them. Yeah, going from Williams with Granny, and then getting the chance to go to the Billy Stud for a year, train with Pip, see how a completely different process works. Because I think Wood Lane Stables, which is where Fox-Pitt William is.
Yep.
There's 28 stables on site, fully if you're full.
Yep.
And you think at the Billy Stud when I was there was 130.
Holy.
And I think they've expanded with more barns now as well.
Oh,
Well, we.
Yeah.
Wowee.
So from one extreme to another, and I mean, what William hasn't won probably isn't worth knowing, but then Pip's won the Grand Slam as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's pretty cool.
So
and even winning,
So you would say she is the goat.
she is the GOAT. Winning Bramham again this year,
Amazing, isn't it?
so cool.
Yeah, real
so cool.
So you take all of that experience, mate, and then obviously you go out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to move us on to question number 7. And essentially, I just want you to bring us up to speed. So you've taken all of those learnings.
Yep.
You know, and now here we are.
Uh-huh.
You've got a string of horses, upper level horses, and I just wonder if you want to bring us up to speed on that and maybe talk about who's in your barn at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. No. So came up to left Pippa's. And then actually moved into a yard not that far from here, kind of about 15 minutes south, to Alicia Hawker's.
Okay.
Alicia Hawker, who's a good friend of mine. She was studying at Bath Uni at the time. She was doing a sport degree at Bath, and so her yard wasn't full. And it was kind of a really, really awesome stepping stone to go to hers and have a few more stables and start progressing, learning about having a few more owners and managing owners and trying to get new horses in, which was great. And then stayed at Lissy's for, I think, between 18 months and 2 years. Like, Lissy's got a super support team around her. Her mum's really supportive of the horses as well, and she was a really kind lady to be around as well, so she was really lovely. Shout out to Anne Hawker. She's a nice, really lovely lady.
I would love to get her as part of the team as a big fan. Anne Hawker.
She'll be a big fan.
Will she?
Yeah. Oh, she'll be a big
nice.
fan.
Just slip it into her DMs.
And then I actually, from there, moved about 15 minutes up the road, just outside Tetbury, where I am at the minute, and I've been where I am now for about 8 years, I think now.
Yeah.
Which is super place, really great, really happy with where I am. My landlords are lovely, Brian and Jenny, really lovely couple. I've got a super stables, all the horses are really happy, and then horses in the yard at the minute. I've got I've got a couple of nice older horses coming through, which is great. So we're heading up to Blair in a few weeks' time. We've got one horse just in the 4-star long heading up there called Penhill's Optimax. Mm-hmm. I've had him for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He's aiming to do his second 4-star long this summer at Blair, and he'd be a bit of a hothead sometimes with on the flat work more so as well, but quite headstrong. But he's heading for the 4-star long, so hopefully the mountains might slightly slow him down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I've got a lovely, slightly younger horse who's coming 9 this year called Tommy Cruise, who's a nice grey horse. Yeah. He's a good horse. He's aiming for Blenheim for the 8 and 9 class. He's supported by a really lovely syndicate called the Mind Syndicate.
The Mind.
M-Y-N-D-E. Yeah.
How's that?
So they're a big shoot syndicate, actually.
Okay, yeah.
In Herefordshire, yeah.
Okay, yeah, nice.
And it was the lady who owned Optimax, Sophie Arnold. She was all good pals and good friends of the people and on the shooting syndicate with the Mind, and got them involved into supporting Tommy Cruise and being on his journey as well.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, good.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So that was really great. Yeah. That's really super. And I've got a few other horses who are coming along as well. We just come back from Bergam.
Yes.
Or Bergam, however you want to pronounce it. Is it Bergam?
I think that's
you tell
something
us.
that we should litigate. How do you pronounce it?
Well, I call it Bergam, but I think I get told off. I think it's meant to be Bergam.
I've always run Bergam.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Mitchell?
Yeah, Bergam.
Bergam.
I'd probably put a bit more of a solid G in there.
Bergam. So we've got 3 versions.
Yeah.
You got Bergam. I'm going with like a J, like a French.
the Berge as we were
Yeah, like
last
the
week.
Berge.
Bougie.
Bergam. And you're going the Bergam.
Bergam. I'm going real Kiwi, I think.
Isn't there another name for it as well?
Is that?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those sort of like Mallow that's Kilgorky House. I thought there was, but I might be wrong. Anyway, we know the show you're talking about.
Exactly that. Yes, I've just come back from there. I had a lovely 7-year-old who was up in there who was doing a 2-star there. She was good, called Steelbrook Aoife. I've got another lovely kind of 7-year-old called A Moment in Time, who's called Little Boy.
Okay.
Little Boy, yeah. So he nice horse, is just about to go intermediate again, which is great. And then got I think a real gem who I had at Bergam or however you want to pronounce it.
Bergam.
A bit more bougie, how you say it.
Yeah, thanks.
Called Ashanti del Tirithio.
How do you mean? Ashanti del
Tirithio.
Where do you reckon that's from, Braden?
Well, Ashanti is obviously from India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Indian tribe.
Ashanti del.
Mm-hmm.
What's the last bit?
Tirithio.
Oh, I'm catching Indian Italian vibes.
Oh,
That's where
you've
I'm
nailed
going.
it.
Is it?
It's Italian. Yeah. Paolo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How did you go?
Another big fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Paolo Talloni. Yeah, big fan.
Thanks. This is just
Hey, I'm very impressed by that, Brad.
That
You've
was
hit the
impressive.
nail on the head
Yeah.
there, mate.
that was so good. It feels like it could have been a setup, but I just want to reassure everyone that was not a setup.
Absolutely not.
That's
We didn't
just-
speak about that 5 minutes
That
before
was
the
just
show.
pure skill, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
I
that
promise.
that's
So,
funny. That's
so one to look out for in the future, you
That
think?
I would say we one to look out for the future. Yeah, lovely mare. Purchased off Paolo last year, who's based at Gatcombe with Tom McEwen. Actually went over to his place in Rome. His parents have got a lovely spot just south of Rome, and his mum lives
sounds
quite
horrible.
Oh, it's dreadful. Yeah. She actually went there with Mama G in the spring to go. Managed to actually even go on her birthday as well.
Oh, well
Oh,
played.
that's well played from you.
Well played, yeah. Managed to go horse shopping on one hand and spend the day in Rome on the other hand with her.
That's the way to do it, eh?
Yeah.
I'd
Just,
like to, yeah.
You know, pretend you're going for a birthday, but there's
just
a
gonna
horse
go
just
horse
up the
shopping at
road.
the same time,
We'll just go
exactly
check
that,
that
yeah.
out while we're here, shall we?
Yeah, no. So we went to Paolo's for the day and was really well looked after by his family, who showed us all of the lovely horses they've got over there. Came back and actually I managed to purchase a 2-year-old whilst I was there.
Oh, wow.
And we'll probably no doubt be going back again this autumn and looking for more horses because the one I've got is cracking.
Amazing.
Really good one. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, I feel like I've been brought up to speed a little bit, Mitchell.
Yeah, is that all we've got on the yard there? You happy, Brad?
Well, I'm feeling pretty happy.
Good.
I was going to throw it back to you for the next question.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm ready for it. We'll, I suppose, take things down a gear a little bit, or up a gear, whichever way you want to
I
put
reckon
it.
up again, mate.
Up a gear?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And we're going to go back to, we're going to talk about Hannah and the Wilbury Wonder Pony.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that you've been a big part of that.
Yeah, no, huge part of Hannah. Yeah.
So, yeah, if you could just talk us through what's...
So
you've
Wilbury
been
the
with that.
Wonder Pony is a phenomenal charity which was founded by an amazing girl called Hannah Francis. It was actually, she was a phenomenal girl who sadly passed away of cancer. Not all that long ago, quite a few years, well, not all that long ago, but her legacy still lives on through the Wilbury Wonder Pony charity, which is providing and supporting kind of support for very, very poorly kids and giving them kind of money can't buy dreams with generally horse-based people who are trying to support kind of maybe getting towards the end of their end of life support and giving them opportunities which they wouldn't be able to do otherwise without the support of the charity, who's able to get them through these doors and get them to come and see
Wow.
and do these experiences.
Yeah. And so that was set up for Hannah, was it?
By
Or
Hannah.
By Hannah.
By Hannah herself, whilst she was super poorly. Yeah, so Wilbury is a toy mascot, little toy pony,
Yeah.
who would be, say, a foot high himself,
Yeah.
and it was kind of trying to tell her story through social media from his perspective, writing a blog about how it is for them working through terminal cancer. And at the age of 16, 17, of her having terminal cancer and kind of telling her story and working through it, but she did it in the most strong-willed, powerful way, that it was never to, oh, poor me, how dreadful it is for me. It was I'm going to keep fighting this until the bitter end, and I am I'm
And
not
trying to help other people at the same time.
Exactly, trying to help other people at the same time, and not let something of your illness get in your way of you trying to do your dreams. I had a slightly different relationship with Wilbury than others. So my main relationship was Hannah itself. A lot of people followed her story through a slightly different perspective of having it through Wilbury the Wonder Pony, and through that charity and through that social media innings. But I had a slightly more personal story with Hannah and knew her on a one-to-one basis and had the nitty-gritty and
So you were right in there and experiencing it all with her.
I mean nothing what she was going through
No,
herself,
no.
but also being the person who would go and, because I'd try and go and see her as much as I could, but kind of when she was having a really rotten day and she was at home and she was stuck inside and she said, I don't really want to go outside today, I'm feeling a bit crap and I'm doing that, I'm not going to go and do it. I was like, no, come on, get up, get in your, like, we're putting you in your chair, you're going out to go and see the horses. And she'd come out, I actually had one of her horses, I had her horses for her while she was poorly. She had 2 horses, one called little chestnut horse called Chesney, and a slightly bigger horse called Mavis. So I took her to Hartbury for the international there.
Oh yeah.
And she went to go and do the 2-star long there. She was great, but at that time, it was trying to really keep Hannah involved as possible as well, because it was her horse. Like Mavis was her horse, yeah. And Hannah'd come out at either the horses at Hannah's or the horses at mine, but either way would get as much involvement from her, and having Hannah come out and either get her to come and teach me whilst I was riding her horse for her. So get her to do that. And one of my most memorable stories from Hannah was she is on crutches with an epidural, which she's... Fun fact, epidurals are like... you can take... They're portable now, actually. You can actually pick them up, and it's like the drugs can... It's a bit of a liquid, and you can put them in... They look like they're in a slightly oversized egg. So it's kind of the size of maybe an egg the size of your mobile phone. But you can pick them up and you can put them in your pocket. Anyway, so she's got an epidural. She's on crutches. She's between crutches in a chair, and she's on a lot of painkillers. And when you have the drugs or the epidural, whatever it is, see daylight, they go slightly purpley. They go slightly pinky purpley, the colour of it. So normally, a lot of people who are in that kind of thing wouldn't normally take their drugs all that much outside with them and go to the outside world. But anyway, when we were going to go and visit Hannah, she always had to come. She came with. So when the nurse then came the following day, I was like, so why have your drugs been kind of exposed to the daylight then? How did you manage to kind of go outside all that much? Kind of, you were quite poorly at this moment in time. You're kind of surprised that you were able to go and do that. She was like, yeah, well, the thing about that, I went riding yesterday.
Tom made me do it.
It was me and her phenomenal dad called James. I'd been at hers and I was riding Mavis, and I was just finishing off, going for a little walk around up, and she just looked at me and went, you could just see it kind of in her eyes. She was going,
I'm going to get on.
Yeah, for goddamn sake, like, I want to be on that horse right now. And she was in a mobility scooter at the moment in time. She had a mobility scooter, and she was just putting off back. And actually, I think we were going for a walk down the drive and back, and she just looked like she was fairly grizzly about it. She's like, I want to get on. I was like, all right, let's do it.
Get on then.
Let's get you on.
Yeah.
And Mavis was a phenomenal mare, and they had a phenomenal bond together. And between James and myself, we managed to get Hannah on Mavis, and that was one of my most kind of spine-tingling moments for her, when she was really very poorly. Getting her on a horse and getting her to go for a ride again, which was, I think, excruciatingly painful for her to try and... Again, she was on crutches. She was in a mobility scooter. You can imagine her health was poor, but she gritted.
Got on the horse.
She got on it. She got on the horse. Yeah, no, she was phenomenal. So I had a real close,
inspirational young
lady. She was
that.
So when I'm having a bit of a crappy day, like anybody can, you kind of think, do you know what would Hannah do?
Yeah.
She wouldn't. You dig deep and you keep trying and you keep wanting to do better.
Keep getting on.
And you keep getting on, you keep plugging.
Is it that approach that she demonstrated? Is that why the pony is continued on, as a legacy, and still we see the pony being taken around
Strapped
5 stars? Like for me, coming from outside the horse world, there's not many like campaigns that you see that live on year after year after year, but still here we are 2023 and you still see the pony going around. Is it because of the way she approached
the way
things?
she was and things? She was such a, again, I probably use the word stoic too often now, but she was such a strong character. She didn't give up, and she met, through her journey of Wilbury, kind of exposed her to meeting quite a few amazing people. She went to Carl's yard, she rode Vallegro, she went to Pip's yard, she met Pip, and I think rode Billy Beware, who was a really cool horse while she was super poorly. but also met a lot of even when she was poorly, kept going to events and kept on being the face of. This isn't going. My illness isn't going to define me.
Sure.
I will keep on going. I will keep fighting, and I want to. All I want to do right now is be in a field with a horse, doing the sport I love. As poorly or as unwell as I am, I'm not giving up.
Amazing.
And it was that strength that kept her going, and got her to go and meet these amazing people and do these amazing things and be such an inspiration to so many people, which she really, really was.
Amazing.
And it is still now.
And how can people get involved with their charity? Donating or?
You can support the charity by donating as well. Yeah, so it is Wilbury Wonder Pony, Wilbury the Wonder Pony. They've got a very big social media platform. They've got a fantastic website. Yeah, they're at quite a lot of quite a lot of the big shows as well. Kind of Horse of the Year or Olympia as well, and badminton. But also they're Southwest based. They're Somerset based. So any local more shows down there. She was an avid Pony Club member. And she was in the Wiley Valley Pony Club, and so she has quite a strong connection to the Wiley Valley Pony Club. So when you're at Nunney Horse Trials, which is the Wiley Valley base, that home for the Pony Club there is Nunney. They always tend to have a stand there as well. But if you look into the charity, you'll be just as blown away as I was by Hannah as you will be by their story. And if you become involved in the charity and learn anything about it, it is a phenomenal charity, and Hannah was and will always be a massive icon for me in my sport, and I think was for many, many people.
Yeah, amazing. God. Amazing. Another legend that you've bloody interacted with, and
she was phenomenal.
How good. I heard this quote once from Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
the great man, and he said, "I am but the sum of the great people I've met in my life," and it just seems like you've been. That speaks to you. All of these little bits that you've taken from all these people on the way. Yeah. It's really contributed to your journey, which is really cool. Really cool.
Hope so.
And might I say, a journey that continues, and who knows where it's going to go for you, mate. And that leads us into the next question, and that is, we know that you groomed at the Olympics.
No, I didn't groom at the Olympics.
Sorry, we know that you attended. You attended 2012?
I did. I went on cross-country day. I did, that was Granny who was grooming me.
Sorry, let me reframe that.
Chief cheerleader, shouting as loud as I could.
We know that you were a part of that Olympic campaign.
Okay, tiniest part, but yes.
We know that
William was
we know that you won the Olympics. In 2000.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah, close. Yeah.
No, we were just wondering, like, after starting out there your first year with William and attending and watching from the back of the stand, to one day you could be there yourself. How would that be as a trajectory for your career and arc? Is that something that drives you to get to that level, and how cool would that be as a start out and a place to end up?
I think that would be phenomenal to start out and place. If you would, kind of the Olympics is a huge pinnacle for our industry, what we do. But for me, I think personally, I actually think badminton is more of a bigger deal
for you.
For me, it's more of a bigger deal.
Yeah.
It's always kind of like the local event I always went to as a kid. The Olympics is super cool. Don't get me wrong, it's super cool.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, a little bit of a big deal, But for me, actually, the one we always did when I was a kid was we'd always go to badminton every year. We'd watch it on telly religiously, I would. Maybe I wouldn't watch all of dressage days on telly from Thursday, Friday.
Sure.
Dawn to
sure, there's not many of us. It's usually
it's normally just Mitch, isn't it?
Early on, Friday morning, it's just Mitch there, front row.
Making sure they've got their hands in the right position.
Exactly, holding that bowl of soup, not spilling it.
Exactly.
Making sure, absolutely that,
Watching those half passes.
That's just a leg yield.
There's not many of those going on at badminton, I'll tell you that.
Oh, what you
or is there?
Oh, well.
Who knows?
But no, that would be a seriously
badminton
cool...
for you.
It would be for me, One day that would be my dream. I don't think seeing that Pip and William have been such big inspirations to me and still are, and having kind of hopefully the bit of the grit that Hannah would have put into me too, I'd probably be too stubborn to give up doing horses until I've achieved that.
Yeah, nice.
And as we all know, that might not happen for a very long time, but I'll be too
May
stubborn
the
to give
horse
up.
gods forever be in your favour.
Exactly that. I'll be too stubborn to give up until that's happened.
Yeah, good. All right, Mitchell, we are
One more question to
yeah?
finish off, and it's quite topical over the last couple of weeks. Actually, I don't know what your answer is going to be now after we've had so much chat about Harry Potter.
Oh, steady.
But if you're going to the cinemas on the weekend, are you going to Oppenheimer or are you going to Barbie?
I'm not.
Or are you doing what are people calling it? The Barbenheimer?
What, are they going to both?
What, they're doing back to back, are they?
Back-to-back.
Oh yeah, that's what people are doing.
Who are the people doing that? Your mates?
I don't know. I've heard some people on the radio gave a big shout out to Big Daddy over the weekend.
I heard that.
I did hear
I heard
that.
that.
Don't know who he is, but
Yeah.
people they're going to, I
They're
believe,
doing both, are they?
Oppenheimer first and Barbie in the afternoon.
What is it for you, Tom?
I'm doing a curveball. I'm doing Indiana Jones.
I've done it.
Have you?
Yeah. I've been. Indiana Jones. Yeah.
And?
I went to the little boutique theatre in Marlborough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I will say about the boutique theatre in Marlborough, you don't want to end up in the front row.
Right. You get a bit of a neck
And
crack.
do you know what? I've had a sore neck
Have you?
for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You sure that's not to do with your height?
Well,
Hey.
being this tall and having to look down on everyone, both physically and metaphorically, that could be it. But no, Indiana Jones.
How did that go against Barbie?
Yeah.
What would you pick?
Well, yeah, I've also seen Barbie.
Have you?
Yeah, I
Was
have.
it any good?
So let me talk you through my opinion of both. So Indiana Jones was a good time. The CGI on what's the main guy? I've been terrible with actors' names
I
tonight.
mean, Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Indy.
That guy.
yeah, that guy.
Indy.
Sorry, yeah. CGI was amazing. It was an enjoyable day out. You know, I'm not going to recommend it as the best film you'll ever see, but
Right.
it's fun.
But
It's-
Barbie was better.
It's fun. Yeah, you know what? Barbie, there was... I enjoyed it, maybe a little woke for me. But still, again, worth a watch. But no, I'm not going to put it anywhere near your Harry Potters.
No.
You know,
No.
your Lord of the Rings,
It's
your
never
Twilights.
it's never going to reach Harry Potter. It's not going to touch him.
Yeah.
And now is that so? Your cinema outings you've done, is that a thing that you would take Sam with you to? Hey, you're
No. It's a bit of me time. Yeah. I'm just going to Barbie by myself. No, I got roped into the grooms were having a Barbie night, and so it was all the grooms, and it was there was, I think, about 12 girls, me and Dan Franks. So just 2 blokes and a dozen girls. I don't know why we've been to the cinema a few times recently. No, it's not a regular occurrence.
No, okay. Well, it sounds like, to be fair, even going to Barbie, like 12 girls, 2 blokes, doesn't sound like a terrible night for you, hey?
You don't know the girls.
Scary night for you, more like.
No, it was a good time. It was a good time. Oh, very good. Hey, guys, that is question number 10. So that's all we have for questions. And now we like to move on to the final section of the pod. And this is usually where we like to put in some fan advice. But what we thought we might do this week is just mix it up a little bit, keep our listeners on their toes.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know if you're following on the socials for all those playing along at home, but midweek we put out a little bit of a poll, an Instagram poll of guests you'd like to see on the show.
Okay.
So what we thought is we might share a couple with you, get your take on who you think might be good, and maybe if you've got a couple of names of people you'd like to see come and have a beer and spin a yarn. So, so just some of the names that were thrown out, some of the popular names. Number 1, Tom Grant.
That was out there.
It was chucked in there, mate.
It was.
Actually, one of the first ones to come in.
Was that done by Dora by any chance?
No,
it wasn't. No.
Did you see who that was from?
I think there was a couple of Tom Grants thrown in there.
Yeah, so many.
I don't know who they came from.
We had a couple of shouts for William Fox-Pitt, Pippa Funnell, Tim and Janelle Price, Susie Berry, Oliver Townend, Jock Padgett. A bit of a throwback to those Kiwi fans. But yeah, we'd love to hear who you think would go good.
I think Pip would be a great one.
Would she?
Yeah, Pip would be a great one. And if you could also have, I think a great one might be if you can get Granny.
I'm listening.
Oh, yeah.
Granny on the show. If you could then if you can recall one of your old guests.
Yes.
If you could have.
I mean, there's no rules.
There's no rules.
I think, but guesting with Granny.
Oh, yeah.
You won Adam and Granny together.
Really?
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I reckon
I think
be
Adam might
Christmas
be up for
special,
that.
maybe.
That'd be a Christmas special. I reckon you can make Granny giggle with
Really?
Adam.
Oh, yeah.
With Granny sporting that.
Is
yeah.
the chemistry something special?
It's good crack.
Amazing.
It is indeed. Yeah.
So
No, I
Granny
think,
and
yeah,
Adam.
Oh,
Pippa, Mitch, how well do you know Pippa?
not at all. No, actually, I met her once walking around a show at the start of this year, somewhere up north.
Thorsby in the mud.
No, it was
No?
actually quite dry. Never
Oh.
been to the space before. They had lovely big indoors. Braden, you were there.
Oh,
Kelsall.
Kelsall
Kelsall Hill.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Walking around a course up there with her.
Oh, yeah.
And breath of fresh air, isn't
Oh,
she?
okay.
I've got
heard-
a lot of time for
I've heard-
Pippa.
I think what we're getting at, mate, is we might need you to give us the assist
I can support that.
for
yeah.
the fans. You know,
For the fans,
If
yeah.
the fans want Pippa,
For the fans.
who are we to deny them?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's something that we
yeah,
could.
if you want to get the assist in on that one, that
I'm
would
sure
be
she'll be a big. She will listen
muchly
to this and she'll be a
appreciated.
big fan.
do you think so?
Oh, massive fan.
that's
massive
really nice to
fan.
hear.
Oh, it'd be great to get her on then.
Absolutely, that. Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
we could do it.
That's really nice to hear. Well, team,
Alrighty.
I think that's about as good a place as
Yeah.
any to wind things up. But I always like to just throw to Mitch. Mitch, have we got anything left on your list?
No things left on my list tonight. My phone is dead. It's not dead. It's just not unlocking. Tom, anything on your list?
No, I don't think anything on my list at all. I reckon. I think that will be all right.
Hey,
Alrighty.
thanks so much for coming down here tonight,
Yeah.
mate. I've really bloody enjoyed being down here at the Smoking Dog.
As have I. And can I just say, your jacket tonight, Tom? Yeah, bloody good. I like it.
Not as good as your jackets, though, pals.
Oh, hey, thanks, mate. I wasn't
uniform,
fishing for that at
uniform
all.
on form.
Hey,
thanks, mate.
Tom Grant. Thanks, mate.
Hi, this is Blythe Tate, and you're listening to Eventing Weekly with Mitch and Braden.
Thanks, mate. Oh, we're a little bit slow and a bit off centre there as well.
It was not clean.
No.